Hey Jordan, so we haven't caught up for a while. We've now finished pre-season. We've had 7 games in that time, gone unbeaten in that time as well with the whole 7 games. We've scored 25 goals and conceded 7, and we've had 3 clean sheets. So not bad overall. What's your take in on pre-season? How's it gone, and how pleased are
Yeah,
you?
pre-season's always a tough one because early on, there's holidays, quite in a quick succession. There's things going on. Other teams, you don't know where they're at. It's necessary for the purpose that it holds, which is to get an identity for players to bed in, and I feel like in terms of what we wanted pre-season to be, in terms of bedding in and understanding how we want to do things, I think it's been a success.
Yeah.
In terms of the opposition we've played, we've had some good tests. All the games have served the purpose at the right time. So yeah, I think pre-season overall, anyone will say that the results in pre-season don't matter, but naturally, winning and keeping clean sheets and things like that is all good habits. So I'm pleased with the results, even though they mean very little. The real stuff starts Saturday. But most importantly, I'm pleased we've had a group of coming together and the outlook that we're having. So that's good.
And how have you felt about the actual performances themselves in pre-season?
Yeah, like there's been obviously some really pleasing ones. Others where you're like, we've been below par probably for where we want to be. And yeah, in terms of consistency, I think the level has been, to a level I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you're not going to have every game being, 9, 10 out of 10. We're always going to have things that we want to improve on. But the boys have stuck to the task and implemented what we wanted. When it was about fitness, that was the purpose. When it was about then identity and patterns, and the boys really took on board what we were trying to do. So yeah, overall pre-season, I don't really like it because I think it gives a lot of players false.
Yeah.
Because you're sharing minutes.
Yeah.
You're working out your best team. So I think it's the real stuff is that's when it really you see the players that you want to work with. You see the players that are on board, and I think we've got a really, really good group. But this is when the real test comes. So I'm really looking forward to now having a week of preparing for a game that is competitive, that matters.
Yeah. And then regarding the squad itself, what do you feel about the squad? How are you feeling about the squad you got?
Yeah, we were probably a week late in terms of finishing off where we wanted to be. We had a plan. We knew obviously we wanted to do a lot of recruitment early, and we did that. But then in terms of those final bits of margin, we'll be announcing another player later today. That one I probably wanted to be done a week earlier.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think our recruitment's been excellent. I'm really happy with the group, and it's not just the ability of the players; it's the group dynamics. We've got a real sort of blend of what we wanted. In terms of a horses for courses approach when we come up against certain teams. So I think the squad's looking really good. And I'm very pleased with how pre-season's gone in terms of the recruitment, but probably a week behind where we would like to be.
Yeah, and then going on to the season, so the season starts next week, straight in with the FA Cup against Hilltop. What's your thoughts about that match? And
so we watched them twice. Good side. They've got a lot of athleticism. They're decent. We had someone there today with their game against Corinthian Casuals. So we've already got a little report on them. So this is when we earn our mettle as a management team. We earn, this is where the players now need to take on instruction to a new level.
Yeah.
And today we tried to implement sort of that first day mentality in terms of how we did things and set parameters around not only the result but the way of playing and demanding a little bit more from them. And some, that sink or swim mentality, some swam and others sunk a little bit. So yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game, but it will be a tough game.
Yeah.
FA Cup, everyone gets a little 10% more because it's the FA Cup, and everyone's got that it might be their year. They can go a few rounds and get a big fish down here. So yeah, that we obviously have got that same mentality. We'd love a run in the FA Cup, but ultimately, it's a game where it'll be competitive, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then obviously the fixtures have come out, not for the whole season, but for the first month. How do you feel about the teams we've been,
Yeah, there's going to be no easy games in this league.
Yeah.
And that, I know that's a cliche, but you've always got now with the sort of carrot of the playoffs, and we're playing 2 of the newly promoted teams who have got great momentum from their previous campaigns. We're playing them in the first 2 games. So it's just one of them. We take a game as it comes, each game as it comes. our focus is Hilltop, you know, and then our focus will turn very quickly to Sandhurst, and you know, so we've got a mentality of how we want to work, and we're going to stick to that one game at a time. And you know, the start, you know, people could say on paper, you know, you're playing newly promoted teams. I think they're the ones you've got to be really careful of as well, because you never know that momentum from the previous season. You see it a lot. They have a really good start, and so we've just got to make sure that we're diligent in our work. We work really hard, and you know, we try and continue what's been a good pre-season, but as I say, teams will look completely different when it comes to 3 points. It will look completely different. So the boys have got to be ready for that, and we will be. I have no doubt we will be. We'll be. I feel like we'll be going toe to toe with everyone.
Cool, great, Jordan, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot.
Take
Cheers,
care,
mate.
mate.